Hey guys, I'm just doing my share. I am here. Yeah, I'm just doing my share out quickly, so bear with me. Hi, hello. Are you not working today? I've got to pop it quickly in the two Spectrum Noir groups because I know that they are going to want to hop on board. So I'm just going to do that quickly. Hey. Okay. Last one, which is the Crafters Companion group. There we go. Hi. 3 lives this week. You are a lucky bunch, aren't you? I think you're going to be able to see me okay. I have no idea on the setup yet because of the big delay. Oh, Erica's at it already. Right, priorities right here. Right, can you see me okay? Okay, let's move this camera. I'm really horrible pink. Which is quite unbefitting. It's a bit better. It's a bit more realistic. Okay. So, in front of me I have the illustrators that I currently have. So, believe it or not, the images that you have seen shared out, the trainers, the owl, the jaguar, there's some you haven't seen yet, the retro girl, all of those were done just using these colours, and not all of these colours either. So it goes to show you what you can do with a limited palette. I have more in the illustrators, but I still don't have them all. So I thought today we may as well swatch them so I know exactly what I'm missing, because it's very long-winded, but when you go and buy the singles, it's not actually very clear the ones you're supposed to be buying. So I've got probably double the amount of illustrators and only this in the classics, and the classics are the ones that personally I adore. I think it's because it's the wedge on the end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for a few people to join us. Then the purpose, as I say, of today is to have a bit of a Q&A. It doesn't have to be about a Spectrum product, but the basis of it is explaining the difference between all the different markers, because they do have quite a few and it can get confusing. So feel free to ask me any questions. If I can't answer them, then I will write them down and go back to the DT team and try and answer them for you. The old markers. I've got all of them, and then they've brought out all these new beauties. So it's probably worth... I don't know how much you know about the new ones, Katie. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So if you are new and watching now, and you've got any questions about the Spectrum Noir products, please hop on and come and ask. If for any reason you can't ask on the YouTube app itself or on the desktop, whatever reason, please pop your question below in the Facebook group where it's probably playing, where you might be watching, I don't know, and I shall try and come and answer it for you later. You have to refresh Emily, as all Erica, it always does that. I need to work out why it does it. It's really annoying. I am watching but no sound. Can anyone else hear me? Can you hear me? I need to write a note. When doing the next Patreon, can we mix between... Okay, I'm confused. Do you mean for the parrot? You want to do it with a marker base? Okay, Joe, if you can clear up, do you want to do the parrot with a marker base? I worry only because some of my patrons won't have the markers, although it won't be a problem in the long run. Okay, it spins on my screen as well, so I don't know why it does that, and I daren't refresh in case I lose you guys. I don't think there's anything I can do my end. Stream health, it says it's in excellent. Stream is healthy, excellent, no trouble, so I don't understand what's going on and it drives me potty. What's enable DVR? I have no idea. It's normal latency. Maybe I have to switch that to low next time. Okay, so I've just painstakingly spent the last 2 hours making these beautiful colour charts. Now this book was from HomeSense for a bargain $4.99, was supposedly 12 quid. And it was a photo album. But the paper is really good quality paper and it's really thick. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. Oh, I don't think I've decided actually, to be honest. I'm fairly limited with colours, so I'm not entirely sure at this stage. But I think maybe next year we can look at doing a marker base one. I certainly think it's achievable, but I need to get more colours. Well, I don't. I have to. It's not about need, it's about have. I have to. Anyway, so I have literally spent... The issue is, and I warn anybody that is going to buy these at a later stage, when I get sent them as a DT member, I generally get them sent in packs. I don't ever get the singles. And it means then that I don't ever have the complete set, which is understandable because they're really good quality and they don't want to be sending them out to all their DT members. But the old originals, if you ever have the old originals, they only ever had numbers on the caps. They never had names. Oh, have they? Or I might have to go get some. So when they brought out the original illustrators, I should have got an original illustrator. Let me grab my box of original illustrators. So this is my, which I still never had the full range, this is my original illustrators before they upgraded them. So you'll see that they started putting names and numbers, which does make it easier because a lot of people couldn't quite understand the system. So if you've got a pen that says IG, it normally means ice grey, GG, green grey, blue grey is BGR. So they all had different codes, but nobody really understood what they were about. So they made it easier by having the names and the numbers. But when you go and try and get them off the website, the issue is, and I don't want to confuse you, but I need to warn you, the issue is the classics aren't, they don't show the number when you go and order them. So you have to, you can search by the number and it will bring it up, but the number isn't on the listing, which is frustrating. And if you put in waterfall, it will bring it up. But unless you know the names of the ones you're missing, you have to trudge through the whole lot, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing today. So the first thing I'm going to clear up, and I need to see if I have an example. I do. Right. I have a feeling I don't. I was going to try. I was going to see if I had one that I had across the entire range, but I'm wondering if I do now. These are the alcohol inks, they're re-inkers that I've got. There's a question on the Spectrum Noir group you posted on. Oh, okay. Right, let me go and have a quick look then. Right, okay. I've got my phone with me, so... What sets does the bundle of try markers have in them? I brought the 4 new sets the other week on Create and Craft, but I can't see any info on the set, which colours they are, and I don't want to end up doubling up. Okay, don't quote me on this, Francis, and I will actually tag Tracy in the group. I'm going to do that now, so you don't hopefully have to wait. But it is the evening, and I know she's been working all day, so she's chilling, bless her. But it depends on the set that you get, but the original set of the 24 pens, there shouldn't be any doubling up at all. The single sets, the newer ones, are just singles. So if you've brought the 24 pack of the original colours and then you've brought the new set, there shouldn't be any crossover. Fingers crossed, I hope. Okay, so let me just check if there's one other question. Nope. Okay. Right, so I bet I haven't. Oh, it's so annoying. I need to find one that I have through the whole range. Aha, CG3. I bet I don't have it in the other one. No. Right, I'll just keep it simple. Simples. That's how I like my life at the minute. Okay. So, you have 3 different types of pens within the range, apart from your originals. So, the originals have been or will be discontinued, but they are still supported. And what I mean by that is that they sell re-inkers, which are amazing, by the way. I've done some really incredible stuff with these. And once these have worn out and they've dried up and you've used all the ink, you can then use these to use in your markers. So you can just refill the markers. So they're still supporting the old ones, and you can buy replacement nibs and things for them. So you're not left in the lurch if you have these and can't afford to get any of the others. The illustrators, I need a scrap bit of paper, which I know I've got somewhere. I wonder if I use the back of that. I had a whole scrap bit somewhere. Oh, should we use... No, won't use a little bit of that. I've always got some somewhere. That'll do. So, the illustrators, I have got the tri-blend as well. So, the illustrators are a double-ended barrel, like all their pens, apart from the tri-blends, which work slightly different. And you have your standard fine bullet tip, and these are quite fine actually. Right, let me move my screens out of the way because I can't see what's happening. So hopefully you can see how fine that is. So I want to show you in comparison to the old illustrators what the differences are, so you know what you're looking for. So the difference between the old and the new is the old have the pale writing on, and you get slightly less ink in them. If you have a look, the length is slightly longer on the new ones. That's because you get more ink. They have then elongated the fine end, so you get a longer nib on there, which sometimes give you a bit more control. Then on the other end, I keep looking over, so if you've got any questions, come ask. And on the other end, you'll be able to see, hopefully, quite a clear difference between the nibs. So the original were fibre tips, and the new is the polymer tip, which is a Japanese nib, and it's superb quality, which means it won't fray. It gives you even distribution of colour, and it's really flexible. So when I say really flexible, I do really mean flexible. So, you know, I've had these for a little while now, and there's a nice amount of colour still in there, but there's no flex in that nib at all. But when you come to the Illustrator marker, I'm confusing my camera here, focus, it goes on really well. You just have to layer a little bit more because of the type of tip it is, but can you see how flexible that is? Let's try and turn it actually. Sorry camera, there you go. And you see it just bounces back. So they are really, really good quality nibs. So that's the difference between the new and the old. The difference between the Classique, the Graphic and the Illustrator are the nib ends. Honestly, Erica, they are just, well, I'll let the art speak for itself. I can't show you any because they've all been sent off to Spectrum. So I can't show you any, unfortunately. But I did here, look, this was a sample that I did, wasn't it? That I did on the live feed with the illustrators. They're just superb. I love them. So the Graphic came out before they relaunched to bring the Classique out. And what, oh, the other thing as well, actually, very quickly, is the ends. They've actually made them much more color coded to the ink inside, and you cannot get 100% accuracy when you print on plastic to what you get on paper. It's physically impossible, but they have got a much closer match than what they had before, so that's improved as well. So I'm going to zoom you in instead of my poor old camera having a hissy fit. So they have a chisel nib. These are the old Graphics, and these are great for when you do illustration, fashion design, things like that, or if you're in the colouring side of things. If you want to do a large surface area, you can do it really, really quickly, and it's a really firm nib as well. And I've showed people this before because people worry they can't get fine detail with the chisel nib, but you can. Really, really fine. Like ridiculously fine. And then you've got a slightly larger bullet nib on the other end, which again you can get fine if you want to, or just tilt it and have slightly larger. Now the Graphic doesn't have the full 216 colours, so I'm not going to worry about them tonight because most people are interested in the Classique and the illustrators, so that's really all we're going to focus on. So the Classiques, I'm just going to check to make sure there's no other questions popped up. No, okay. So the Classique, as I say, has been brought out purposely to come in line with the illustrators. So when they launched the tri-blends and the illustrators, the new ones, let me zoom you back out again. It has a new ink formula. So the ink formula is superior, the nibs are superior, and they wanted to bring the old boys up to par with the new guys. So they didn't want them to be left behind. I have a Spectrum Noir addiction. Although I have the original markers and the illustrator and the tri-blend, I'm now desperate for the classics. It is an addiction, totally. And a hard one to break too. So the classics are now in line. So they have the new ink formula. They have the better Japanese nibs. They have the much closer ends that meet with the ink formula. So you'll get a much better sort of guess. But I'm telling you now, from a pro's point of view, swatch everything, which is why I'm going to do my swatch now. I had done one already, but because it has only the numbers on there and not the names, I need both to be able to order the rest. So that's what we're going to do today. So it gives people a chance to come on, have a chat, ask any questions. You get to see the colours that are available, and I get to see in what range, what pens I am missing. So that pretty much, really, there's hardly any difference. I just want to address something actually, because one of the things I've noticed is people's opinions of why they bring these out so often. And yes, they have. They have brought them out in quite quick concession, which they haven't done for a really, really long time. If you imagine how old the original markers are, they've only just, brought those up to match with the illustrators. You do not have to buy every single pen that they bring out. You might want them, but you don't have to buy them. So if you're not somebody who is a fan of the chisel nib, then the illustrator is perfect for you. If you are not a fan of the brush nib, the chisel nib's perfect for you. And the reason being is the whole 216 colours fit the entire range. So you get 216 colours in the classics, and you get 216 colours in the illustrators. The tri-blends, of course, work differently because you get 3 colours in the one wand. Magical colour wands, I call them. If you want any information about the tri-blends, I'm not up 100% on them, but I know what I know, and I've worked with them and produced some pretty good work, I think. So let me know. I have swatched my tri-blends already, and there is actually a video in my Spectrum Noir playlist. If anybody is interested, I'm just going to lower the colour there so it's not so washed out. So there is a video on this, and I have an entire playlist of all Spectrum Noir related videos, whether it's time-lapsing, information, testing. So if you want to have a look at those, feel free. If you're new to watching me, if you want to subscribe, please do. I'd love a thumbs up on this video if you find it helpful. YouTube love it, and so do I. And yeah, you need to hit the notification for all as well, because YouTube has a habit of not notifying you when I go live. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to chop it up probably that way and then stick it in my book so I don't have to re-swatch it, because it was bad enough doing this live. So it is going to be a bit slow going as I don't have everything in here, and I'm really annoyed because I had some spare paper and now I can't find my spare paper because I want to put one in between. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to grab that. Can you explain the tri-blends? I can explain the tri-blends. Let me... What colour have I got in front of me? The true blue. Okay, so the tri-blends are... In one wand, you get 3 colours. You get your mid, your dark, and your light. So at each end, you get your light. Not at each end, but your light. In the middle is your mid. And in the end is your dark. When they're new, the lids can be a bit stiff. If you have trouble and you find that it's pulling the barrel out, just put a little bit of polish on the plastic and it will just help. But the more you do it, the more they'll loosen up. So these are the different. So I've got True Blue here, which is this one. So there's your light, there's your mid, and there's your dark, which makes blending across it much, much easier. So I'll give you an example. My Inktober. So I did a quick Husky's eye, and that Husky's eye was done using just the True Blue. So I've blended over with either the same colour, the medium, so I've done a whole layer in light, then I've done a bit of the edge in the medium, then I've gone in with the dark, then I've blended it with the light, and then blended with the medium again. I think I've got another one in here. That again was done with the tri-blend. That was done with two colours. It was done with the turquoise, this blue turquoise, I don't know how you pronounce it. Turquoise. Anyway, his hair and his legs were done with the turquoise. No, I don't think it was actually. Maybe it was, no, it wasn't the jade green. Do you know, I don't know now. How naughty. It must have been the jade green. Me down. Anyway, the blue was done with the True Blue. I know because it came out of my pot that I have in the sitting room. It just means that you can create depth without having loads of different pens, because if you like to travel with your colouring kit, you want to take it on holiday, you don't want to take 216 pens with you. Yeah, you don't want to do that, do you? You want to take a handful of colours but still give you the opportunity to blend. So I'll show you on a bit of scrap in a minute. I'll give you a very quick sneak peek then. This was my shiny Inktobers. I'm going to do a tour at the end of it, but my birdie, my eye, my rose based off my paper cut, and then frail and swing, and I haven't done today, so yeah. So where's that bit of paper I had? So now I need another bit. So let's okay, so generally when you blend, this is a lot of people start again. Beginner's mistakes. So you want a full layer. So wherever you're drawing, you need a full layer down. Ignore the mess I'm making because I'm brushing. So get your full layer of your lightest colour down, even where your shadow will fall. Okay, then you grab your mid and then you come out to wherever you need to come out, doesn't really matter. And then you grab your light. It's sometimes easier to keep the lid off. Grab the dark. Go back to your mid. Make sure I've got my light, which I have. Now where you've got that harsh edge, don't just stop there. Saturate your paper, fully saturate it, and then go over again with your mid. I'm hoping that was the mid. And and then go over it with your light again. And then I've used this pen quite a lot and I think it's running out, so, which isn't helping. Actually, you can hear it's running out, so. It's one of my favourite colours and I use it all the time. So the trick is don't give up on the blending. What happens is people stop after 2 layers. You can't just do 2 layers. You have to do multiple layers. Exactly the same with pen, exactly at pencil, exactly the same with paint. It doesn't matter your medium. Generally, layers are the priority. So that's what you've got to do. Cool, you did well. That's exactly why I'm doing this tonight, because I don't want that headache. What you need to do is you need to see this on the back of your paper. If you don't see that, your paper isn't saturated enough, and you have to have the ink saturated. So you can see my light where my ink's running low, because it's not saturated through the paper. The saturation of the paper means that the alcohol is moving through the fibres, which means that it blends your colour out. And that is really, really important. If you find that you're not getting the realistic shading that you're trying to achieve, more than likely the reason is you haven't done enough layering. Personally, I only use 2 papers with their markers, although I do use them in my sketchbooks and things. But the Spectrum Noir marker paper is actually really good quality, and I try and use that all the time because it's white. Have I got any without having to dig out my whole box? Okay, so that's the pad that you can get, and it's 240 GSM. It's 9 by 12 and it takes a beating. So it's really good quality. I'm trying to work out how much I've got left to spend on the things. By the way, as well, if you're looking for skin tutorials, these are all up on my YouTube channel now. This is the Illustrator markers, the original markers, and the tri-blend markers. So you can achieve an awful lot with a limited amount of colours. You know, you're looking at maximum of 4 colours in this one to achieve skin tones. So again, if you've got any questions around skin tones, come find me. Those guys that are waiting on fur tutorials, they are coming, I promise. Here's the evidence. I just need to get them down on something and record them. So I promise it is coming. So hopefully that explains a bit about maybe why you might not be achieving such a nice blend. So any questions on that? As I say, try and hop on if you can. Have I got any? No other questions there. Okay, right, sip of coffee. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the tri-blends, Joe? Oh, the other paper I use is just my Strathmore Bristol Smooth because it's amazing. Well, I'm going to put the Classiques away for the minute. I'm going to put that one away for the minute. And I have... Let's just make a start and I'll look up every now and then. In fact, for this size squares, I might just use the... Never store your pens vertically, always store them horizontally because they all then pour down to one end of your pen, and then one end will get very dry very quickly and the other one will become sodden. I love their True Black. It's one of the nicest blacks. Let me move the camera angle so you're not such a strange angle yourself. Brill. Okay, my colours are not in order and I don't have half of these, as I say, so I may end up looking here and looking really, really lost. So let's just grab what I know I do have. And I'll tidy my desk up tomorrow because that's the way I roll. Right, GG is over this side, I think. Yeah. So GG stands for green grey. Oh, hang on a minute. Guess who's been a complete dingus? Oh my God. Oh, you're going to laugh at me in a minute. Damn it. Okay. Note to self. Don't have 50 billion pens on the same. Well, I know I have that one, so let's put that one down. Green grey 3, so GG3. So you can see, hopefully down the camera, that this has a slight green tinge to it. Oh, it works so nicely on this paper. Okay, now because I'm a numpty, I have brown grey on one end and green grey on the other end. So somewhere along the line, I have mixed my pens up because I'm clever like that. Green grey 2. Look how nicely that ink flows. And even on the first layer on these, there's no pen lines. The alcohol just saturates nicely into that paper and you're left with no lines on that paper. The Spectrum Noir paper, yes, it will take all of their markers. Posca actually aren't too bad upside down because they work on a ball system rather than a fibre tip system. Okay, please tell me. Right, green grey 2. I'm going to put them up there. I have that. So brown grey 4. Oh, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Right, that's brown grey, so you don't belong on there. You belong on there. There we go. So green grey 5. It means then I can literally just sit there and write a list because I know exactly what's missing. I have the name and the number, so I can just deal with it all in one go then. So I'm missing green grey 4 and green grey 1, although I'm pretty sure I had green grey 1. I do. Okay. Just make sure I've got the right lids on the right ones. Also gives you an opportunity if you thought about buying their pen system and you haven't sort of really looked into it. This gives you the opportunity to see. So can you see the transition between the colours? They always go on darker, by the way, so they dry lighter. So give it a bit like paint. So just give it a bit of time. But this issue of carrying 3 different pens is where the tri-blends solve that problem if you travel around a lot. So you would have that in one pen effectively. Okay, so I have brown grey. I thought I had more brown greys than that, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't then. I thought I had more. Okay, the brown greys, the ice greys, the green greys are pretty obvious, and the blue greys. So BG4. Now, somebody asked me earlier, and I have a feeling it was you, wasn't it, Claire, that asked me on the fur tutorial about the difference between cold and warm greys. because what I'm doing here is a perfect example of how to explain it. 6. So if it was you, let me know. I will answer your question on the video that you asked it on though, because it would be good for other people to see the answer. My feet are so cold. Okay, I need to move that blender out of the way. Right, ice grey, blue grey. I'm just going to do the greys because they are all in the same place, so I might as well just... Do I only have the... Oh, brown grey too. Definitely 2, yeah. Okay, so when you're looking at an animal, it picks up a lot of its, in the photograph, it picks up a lot of its surrounding light. So some of it you can sort of pick up naturally. If it's outdoors, a lot of the time it's quite a warm light. If it's in the evening, it can be quite a cold light. But there's no hard and fast rule really about how you identify. It's really a case of, I don't even know how to, it's really hard to explain. When you do it all the time, naturally, it's hard to explain how to try and develop it. I mean, the first thing you can do is use a colour picker tool. Although I'm not massive fans of them later on in your journey, I do feel that actually in the beginning they can be really, really helpful. So what I'm doing here, this blue-grey one, is when I refer to a cold grey, this is what I would see in an animal's fur. I would see a slight blue tint, or like a lilac tint, something blue, lilac, cool. But if I see something quite warm and brown, maybe reddish, then you'd be looking at your warm grey. So this is effectively what would be your warm grey, and this is what would be your cold grey. So when you're identifying a shade in a dog, it's looking at whether it has a cooler tone that maybe has blues, as I say, blues, purples, things like that, or whether it's your warmer tones that have your browns and your reds and your beiges. So it's just really observing within your shadow area what they have. Okay, so blue, grey 4, which again would be a cold grey, blue grey 4. I keep thinking I'm going to put them in the wrong bit. It doesn't take long to start getting the hang of it. It really doesn't. You just get used to it. Once you see a dog, you sort of instantly know. I get a lot of people say to me, I'm really sorry, but it's a white dog. I don't think you'll be able to draw it. And you'll be like, well, yeah, you get quite a lot of information from black or white dogs. Which is again why I wanted to do the series in the Spectrum Noir pens, because it just makes it easier for people to use the colours. But it gives you a much more natural tone rather than it being just a straight brown or a straight black or whatever I'm trying to explain. I am a plonker. I only have the aqua pens, but would like some markers. Just don't know which ones to go for first. I would go for the illustrators first. Personally, I love the classics, but I do very large graphic style images. So for me, the wedge, the chisel end, is like when I did this lady here, she was a marker base. And where I'm doing, again, there's a video for her on this with a talk over, but where I'm doing large areas in marker base, I want it to be as smooth as possible, and I find for me the chisels actually give me a much, the brushes do, the brush ends do, I just find you have to work them more, but the chisel ends I find I only need to go over a couple of times and I've actually already got a smooth blend. So I of both, but I really adore the Chisel M one, so it's really down to personal preference, to be perfectly honest. Let's move that out of the way because I don't want that intruding. Okay, so we've done what greys I have. As I say, I have all these colours in front of me. I mean, these are all the ones that I have, but because that only has numbers on, it's no good to me. I need the names and the numbers. Oh, look. Oh, look. I don't need my sheet. It doesn't come through. Oh, the grey does. Okay, I'll take that back. The grey comes through, but not actually that bad, so it's driving me crazy having a big bit. Put your fluffies. I swear down, Leslie, it makes absolutely zero difference. I had 2 pairs of socks on and slippers the other day. My circulation is awful on my feet. It really is. Always has been. Well, I'm just going to pick a pen and find it on the chart because it's probably the least annoying way of doing it. And then I've got to glue this in on the other side, because there has to be, of course, an odd number of... I managed to get exactly 100 on my book, which I thought was quite good. So it meant 2 pages was exactly 200 colours, but then of course it's 216, so I had to come over onto another page. So in fact, let's plonk that in now. So I'm just literally going to stick it on the back. A little bit DIY while we're at it. Really shouldn't glue on this, but hey ho. Oh, it's beautiful weather outside, isn't it? Nice weather for ducks. Right, that'll do. Haven't got any of the neons. I have to get the neons because neons are beautiful. Okay, so right, first one off the bat is Mocha, which is MB1, which I think is on the first side. You're going to get bored soon. No, it's on the second side. MG. Where's my MBs? I think we should play some bingo while we're at it. Have I written MG and I should have written MB? No, I haven't. Mocha. Where's my mocha? There it is. Look, I'm being a dingus. Mocha. Living dangerously here. I love this colour. This was used a lot in my Jaguar drawing. MB1. I did have all these in order, but where I've just grabbed them, Maggie would be having a hissy fit if she was watching this, because she helped me get them all in order. And I had them all in order to the chart as well. Okay, so that's it for the MB. So I should have 2. RB2, and I should have RB1 somewhere. Do you know what? I'm just going to EB7, TN, RB1. So there's my 2 RBs. I know I've got 2 of them. They're my TNs. I should have named it like, oh, what's it called? Battleship. You could have all been having a game of battleships. Every time I call out a pen name or a pen colour, you could be calling it out there, going bingo. Right, there's RB1, which is Pecan, which is, again is a really lovely colour. I love muted colours like this. I only have RB2. Bring that one down. RB2, which is red brown, which is exactly what RB stands for. PV's pink violet. Okay, that's all I've got of those two, I know that much. DG2, 3 and 4 I should have, so let's find the other DG2, DG3. So DG2 is bamboo. I don't know why I put that there. I should have put that on the back of that one. Never mind. So DG2 is I'll tell you what, actually, it's not an unpractical thing because I know when I'm ill. I'm ill when my feet get hot. It's the only time my feet get hot. So if they're hot, you know I'm really poorly. DG3. Aren't they lush greens? See, not only are they good quality, they're really lovely colours. They're not just really yuck colours. They've really considered. And I love the fact that the whole system is the same now. So no matter your preference, once you have this system, all you have to do is buy the re-inkers. And they have a job all of their own because they're just magnificent for doing alcohol ink art. Really cold in the den as well because it's obviously raining and it's really windy, so it's really cozy in here, but it's really cold. Okay, we've done the GG. I've done the BG. I'm missing a B. No, I'm missing BGR. I should have two somewhere. Unless I've done some stupid swap again. Ice Grey 6. Oh, you dingus. Greys are a really good way of adding shadow to your subject. A lot of people tend to go just for a darker version of the colour that they have put down, but to have a much more natural feel, if you use a grey, it tones the colour and it gives you a much more natural looking shadow. So don't dismiss the greys. Yes, Jumpy appeared from nowhere, didn't he? What did I say I was missing? Blue grey 2. I don't understand that. Blue grey 1. Blue grey 1. Blue grey 2. Crap. What have I done with it? Okay. Get over it. Deal with it later. Okay, so EB, I think I've only got the 3. No, I should have 4. So EB7, EB2, I should have EB1. EB1. Okay, the EBs are really, really lush. EB stands for earth brown. So as you can imagine, they're very earthy colours. EB. God, why do my eyes just not want to focus? But it was over here. EB was over here, look. So you'll get these in like the naturals range. And they do actually do a portrait range as well, which you get all your fleshy, pinky, beigey tones in as well. EB1. EB2, which is natural brown. So these are the colours if you're looking at, if you want to do marker bases for dogs or cats or jaguars or owls or anything like that. These are the colours that you need to be looking for. I list all the colours that I use in all of my tutorials. Dark brown. Can I show you a magic trick? I'm going to show you a magic trick. If you don't have black, let's get petrol blue. Any dark blue and any dark brown will work. Hi, God. Okay, so I'm going to use dark brown, which is EB7. I'm hoping you're going to see this. No, other way. Okay, so EB7. You wait, I'm going to do this and it's not going to work. And it's out of focus, which doesn't help. So without ever having to use black, you can create some really dark shadows, which is almost black. So if you don't have a black and you're struggling, just use your darkest and layer on top. Okay, zoom you back out a little bit. So little room to actually do so. I've got this massive desk thinking I'd have loads of room, but I have to have my stupid lights so close that there isn't actually that much room. So I've done my EB7, so I should have only had 4, which I have. So the portrait set, I did get the whole thing. So I have the whole of the flesh tones, which is why I was able to do that series. So TN, I thought I had more TN colours than that. Maybe I don't. Okay, so TN is there. TN7 again, we're working into quite the dark browns. I've got the wrong end, but hey ho. Again, with the end of the brush pen, you can get some really fine details. So the joy of, you know, the brush nib is you can start very fine and then just put pressure on, and then you get that chunk and then keep going, and you can get a real sort of variation in the width of the pen that you're using, in the stroke that you're using. So if you're I'm not very good, but if you're somebody who likes to do their hand lettering, as I say, I'm not very good at hand lettering, but you get the gist. It's really, really good for things like that. That was my TN8, which is even darker. So TN8 is russet. My slippers off, because actually sometimes, I know it sounds stupid, I do, look, they're right in front of me. Oh, I'm such a dingus today. TN1, TN2, TN3. Got my postcode in there, of course that. So do you have any other questions about the Spectrum Noir range of products while we're just sitting having a chin wag? Doesn't have to be about the markers. I'm going to change my storage system soon where I just keep all my browns together rather than have them in absolute order, because it just drives me crazy, because if I have them in order they have to stay in order and it just doesn't happen. So pale tan is a really good one to use for lighter flesh tones. That was honeydew. This is apricot. They sort of work across in the colours. So you work across your more naturals and then you start going into your brights. Let's get these GBs done and then I can put them away. GB9, which is oak tree. So you can see how many I'm missing already. I don't like having missing pens. Come on, hands up who doesn't like to have missing sets. There's one, I saw a photo today, I think it was in the DT team, and they had literally every colour bar one. I can't afford to get them all yet, I have to wait, but I just want to get what I can for the moment, just so I'm not having to open, I don't know, 100 pens, because they all come individually wrapped, so that makes for a fun afternoon. Okay, GY1, GY2. And just to confuse you, we have a YG that comes up later on. So GY is in the yellow range. Yellow range. GY up there. Mimosa and Moonlight. Moonlight. Make sure I get the right way around before I put them in the wrong place. I mean, I love garish yellows and things like that because I like all the neons, but they have such a nice natural, much more nature looking yellow. So Mimosa. I'd love to know who has to sit there and think of all these names, which is probably why they decided to keep them all the same across the range. Can you imagine if you had to come up with different names for the classiques? GY2. YG. I said there was two YGs, didn't I? No, I didn't say there was two YGs at all. I think I've only got two YGs. YG, where are you? YG stands for, have a guess, someone? I'm missing one. I think I might have to go through the set that I've given my kids to make sure. Oh no, it is there. I take that back. Sorry, kids. Blaming them for my error. YG, 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 where are you? So many numbers there right in the end. Ding ding, well done. Yeah, yellow green. So we've got khaki. Olive green. My kiddo loves olives. She goes nuts over them. She has a whole top shelf in the fridge. She has calamatas. She has green. She has black. She has giant green. And then, because I refuse to pay the prices in Sainsbury's or anywhere else for that matter, she goes and picks mint from the garden and chops it up. This is an 8-year-old, by the way. And she puts a little selection of olives in a bowl, puts some olive oil in it, puts the mint in it, and a little bit of lemon juice. And she's right in her element. Happy as Larry. Right, CR3, which is suntan. There is GY and YG. So YG yellow green. GY I might actually have to double check. Gold yellow. CR3, 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 suntan. CR stands for coral. I'm having to double check these myself now. Coral, I only have the one. So if I get all the FS colours, because I know that I've got all of them. CG1, CG3, PP, there's all the PPs. AP, BO, LG, LG4, GT1, GT3. I think most of the other ones are within the order. So these are all the flesh. So this is the set that comes with the portrait. So if you buy the portrait set, this is what you'll be getting. So FS1, I think, is on the second page. No, I clearly, oh, I knew it was somewhere on its own. Let me move camera. I swear my shelf's going to fall down one of these days, having to keep moving these. My hubby got fed up waiting for a cuppa, so he went to make me one. Yeah, there's he's trained to a pretty high level, isn't he? Did you all miss his comment on the live feed the other day? Not that he could stay long, but he said he was going to make me a cuppa when he got home. Okay, FS1. Let's move these down. FS2. Can you see that all right? Yeah. I love FS2. It's a real in-between. It's not too pink. FS3. I guess I should check that both ends have the same number on after last time. Blush is another one that I use a lot. FS4, FS5. FS6, which is cream. This is for your real pale skin tones and also very good for blending. One thing you do have to be careful of is when you blend light over dark, especially if it's really dark, the light will eventually actually draw the colour out of your dark. So practice a bit of blending beforehand on a different piece of paper just to make sure that you're getting the order right, so that way you're not drawing any colour out. You don't want to be doing that. So he certainly is. So you can see that these are on the pinkier side. This is more of the yellow side. If you want to give it that olive tone, sometimes you just have to add a little bit extra. But as I say, I've got all the tutorials up for skin tones if anybody needs to. Why does it feel like glue on there? So this is actually really good for olive tone. So that is your flesh. So we'll do PP, as we've already got that there. Do we know what PP stands for? And I don't mean a child version of having to go for a wee. Pippi, where are you? I just thought you'd be on the same. There. I'm having to move my camera every time because the book changes position. Lucky my arm is flexible, huh? Oh, what, the bird tutorial? What have we got? PP1. I'm hoping I didn't miss any questions about any other of the Spectrum products. So if I have, I apologise, and don't be afraid to ask again. I don't think I did. No, okay. Right, PP1. PP1. PP2. Anyone gonna have a guess of what PP stands for? Number 3 is the only one I'm missing. How annoying is that? This paper holds up so well to this. Bargain grabbing this. Oh, I got my priorities wrong. Look at that. Fruit pink. Looks like an opal fruit. Opal fruit makes the mouth water. And PP6. One of my favourite purples I don't have in the Illustrator range or the Classique range. I've only got it in the Graphic. Graphic. I love this colour. Look, it's called Regal, and it's called Regal for a reason. Isn't that the lushest of the lush colours? Nom nom nom. Pretty pink. No, it's not. Pale pink. Well done, Erica. Okay, what else can I test you on? What is next? Okay, I have CG1. What does CG stand for? Even I have to check that one. Okay, CG1. I don't know why I'm worried about it coming through. I don't think it will. CG1. The names sort of give it away, I suppose. Oh, it's such a lush green. There's a colour in clay called wasabi, and it's delicious. CG3. Citrus green. Well done. Okay, what have I got next? Have I done GYs? I have done GYs. Hang on a minute. I should have GY3. Why don't I have GY3? GY3 is gold. I'm doing this and you can't see it. You need to yell at me if you can't see it. Trouble is, if I zoom out, you're not going to see it. And if I zoom in, you're not going to see it anyway. So, right, I've got 3 LGs right in front of me. So let's just do those. LG stands for... Send me your guesses now. LG, where are you? LG's right there. I should have known because it's all in the set. LG1 is a chartreuse. No idea if I've pronounced that right, but it sounded good. Where's my chartreuse? There it is. And I'm completely off camera again. Chartreuse. If I'm pronouncing it correctly and not making myself look like a numpty. I thought we... lucky I spotted that. Light green. Well done. Erica's on fire today. I don't know if Wendy's still here, but she should get her print tomorrow for winning the giveaway on the last live feed. Leaf green is an AG. Meadow, we've got chartreuse, yellow green, meadow, salad and grass. And that's in the light green. The AG is, can anyone guess the AG? See, I'm teaching you all about their products, all about their systems. It's a fun night in on a Friday. We are rocking and rolling. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else on a Friday night when it's tipping it down with rain, under a blanket, hot cocoa, watching someone colouring little squares. L, G, C, G, da, 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 dum, bum, bum. Let's do that because I've only got one. Alpine. What do you mean still here? Did she sneak in and disappear? I don't know. I thought she came in. Didn't someone say that she wasn't the only one that was late or something? I don't know. I probably saw things. Look at that green, everybody. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of green. It's not my favourite colour in the world. But that is lush. That is a really lovely green. AP. Right, for the sake of my sanity. DP. LV. HB. CT1, CT3. I've only got two of them, so I'll do that now. CT stands for... God, I'm missing so many. I'm going to have to be really picky about what colours I go for. I know I need more reds. That's the one thing I really am missing. I've only literally got one coral. I've got no bright pinks. So I'm going to have to be really fussy because I cannot afford to get them all. So it's very therapeutic, apart from when you can't see. It's very therapeutic watching you colour little... It is oddly, isn't it? It was me saying, oh, I see. Hi, Georgina. I've just been literally going through answering questions about the Spectrum Noir pens, because sometimes there can be a bit of confusion between what the differences are between the different pens. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. I don't mind repeating myself. Yeah, so I thought I need to swatch, because when I try to order some of the ones I'm missing, the website either has the name or the number, because the classics only come up by number on the website and the illustrators only come up by name on the website. I've had to colour chart the whole lot again, because my colour chart, which I had filled in, only has numbers. So when I'm trying to find my illustrators, I can't. And these are some of the re-inkers I wanted to order as well. So if you have any questions at all, feel free. Okay, so we got any APs? We got BTs, IGs. I'm so annoyed I put that there. I bet it's too late to take it off. It is as well. So my IGs go from there and then jump straight back up to here, which is really, really annoying. Let's just grab whatever is there. HB. HB stands for... Even I'm having to check that one because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, HB. God, why is it so hard to find simple letters? You're all going, it's there, I can see it. And I'm going, no, I can't find it. Oh, come on. HB is right near the LVs, and the LVs are, oh, it's there, look, right up in the corner. So HB is lilac. After just having spent hours putting these order, watching you do it again in a different order is making my head hurt. My head go, oh, I used the colour chart off the Spectrum Noir website, but I did it on here and just translated it. So I don't know in what order you've done it, but I just used the stuff off the website. HB1, HB2. Hydrangea blue. Oh, Joanna knows her stuff. Even I'm having to double check. Look, aren't they just gorgeous? They're very vintage. They have a colour called China Blue, which I haven't got to yet, which is really, really yummy. Okay, so AP. AP stands for, and even I'm having to double check again. My God, I'm so bad at this. I bet Joanna knows. She's a good girl, that one. It is what I thought it was, yeah. God, my memory's terrible. If you imagine, I can't remember what the total sum is for the... I've forgotten the name of the pen now. Copic? I don't know how you pronounce it. But they've really got on par, really, with the Copics. Colour-wise and quality-wise. I have to say, I mean, these nibs, and Katie will confirm with you, if you haven't used these nibs before, these are some of the best nibs I've ever used on alcohol markers. Antique pink. In my opinion, yes. I'll tell you what I'll do. Look. I shall bring up my gallery and show you. It's just my Instagram feed, but I can show you. All these were done with, the Classiques. So that's Classic. The colours go across the range. So the same colours you get in the illustrators, you will get in the Classiques. Because when they run out, you have the re-inkers. So the re-inkers will fill any of the pens that you have. You can just about do the tri-blends, but it's tricky. But I would say no to the tri-blends. But the re-inkers will cover the original markers, the Classiques, and the illustrators and the graphics. So that's why they've given you the colour range. But because depending on your preference of pen style, the illustrator has a brush nib, the Classic has the chisel nib. So depending on what you prefer will depend on what you go for. So they've covered every market basically. The illustrator has a little bit more ink, but I love the chisel markers. So I'll bring up the illustrator ones in a minute, the samples. I had to do a lot more for these illustrators. So these are all done with, Classics. These are all done with the Classics. So the colours you see here are available in the illustrators. So I'll go, it's my first series. That's my Tiger Eye. Oh, there, that's using the greys. First series again, that's a doggy I'm doing. Hang on, like the trainers. So these are all using the classics. What else have we got? My owl. Again, that was using the classics. I was using things like the muted browns. In fact, you can see here, I've got burgundies in there. I've got mocha. I've got brown greys, blue greys, muted browns, brown grey, sandstone. So I love that eye. Really impressed with that eye. And that's all done by markers. The love blocks as well. I hate saying love blocks, it sounds rude, but so many people didn't realise that that was a drawing. Right, so let me find you. So that's done with the illustrators. My little, if you're not aware, I'm obsessed with Deadpool. That was illustrator markers. Very quick, that wasn't the right paper to use it on, but so these were the samples I did for the illustrators. So these are the colours that I've used up here. So this is what I did for them for their marketing, but this is all usable, all doable. This is the hair I want. All doable using the illustrators. This is a tutorial on my channel, and I talk you through how to do this, what colours to use, and it's a real time tutorial, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I push you any, but all you've got is what, 8 colours there, and this is completely doable. All it is, I mean, if I go in, it looks a complete mess. So that's what it looks like close up. It looks messy. But that's what it is. You don't look at pictures that close. You look at them that close and it looks like it should look. So don't ever discount yourself because maybe you can't draw quite like that yet. But if you try, you never know what you can do. So yeah, don't be afraid to give it a go. So this was the marker base actually. So I used the tri-blends and the illustrators to do the marker base for that girl. So I used 3 tri-blends and 4 illustrator pens. So they don't have to be solely for just marker drawings. You can use them as base for pictures as well. We did that on a live. If you want to go and see that being created, so have a go. I have got no problem with you having a go at one of these. Yeah, I'd love to see you have a go actually. So that's done with the Spectrum Noir colour blends as well as the illustrators. Getting itchy nose again. I think that might have been a question come up, so I'm just going to double check. No, it was just a reply to that question we had earlier. Okay. It really depends on preference. Oh, I love both Deadpools. The second one is just as good as the first one, and that's rare in a film. Very rare in a film. But it's done brilliantly. Yeah, it really depends on preference. The foil balloons, all the marker ones that you've seen, I will be voiceovering. I have all the videos, I will be voiceovering, and you'll be able to see how they're done. I've got about 10 to voiceover. So they will be coming out. As I say, subscribe to the channel if you don't already, because each one of those drawings will have a talk over. I will include the colours. So if you want to have a go at something similar, all the balloons, all the pictures are from Pexels, which is a free stock photo website. So you're able to get your photos off of there. The zebra, if you go and find the zebra, yeah, just have a go. Don't ever discount yourself until you've tried. A lot of people are scared to just get in there and just get in there. Honestly, it's amazing how once you start building up something so simple can then produce that quality of drawing. The balloons, people went nuts over the balloons. And they're going nuts over the Jaguar at the minute as well, which I wasn't expecting. my biggest tip for anybody starting with any marker, no matter what brand, is layer. Don't just keep it as one layer. You just got to keep going. So it really is worth just checking the videos and just watching them and just getting an idea of how I work, because it will then help you when you start. I would personally, if you're an absolute beginner, start with the Illustrator markers. You'll find getting on with the brush nib probably easier than getting on with the chisel. I think because I've worked with a chisel nib so long, I'm used to it, and I can just crack on and not have a problem. But I would say absolute beginner, I would go with the Illustrator. If you get the, depending on your budget, you can get the Essentials, which is 36, I believe. You get 36 in a box, so that's a really good. You don't have to have every single, well, you do have to. If you're an addict like me, you have to have all the colours. But in reality, you don't, because you can blend. See, I had limited colours. Those pictures I showed you, these are the only colours I have in the Classique markers. That's it. My camera won't focus out there. That's all I had in the Classic markers, and those markers produced all of those drawings. So don't feel you have to have the whole lot, because you don't. Oh, nose won't stop itching. You best get them on your birthday list and your Christmas list. Right, GB. I've got 2 GBs in front of me here, so let's get those down. GB2, GB4. I think I've only got 2 of them. No, apparently I've got 4 of them. GB stands for... Hopefully you'll be able to pick that up by the colour that's coming out. I promise I'm not some weirdo that's got another whatever obsession with my nose. My nose has just suddenly got really itchy. Does that mean something, doesn't it? Pam's told me it means something. Am I going to be rich? I actually really like doing it this way. You get a really gorgeous view of all the colours that you have. As I say, do swatch. It's really important to swatch. I used my swatch constantly when I used my Classiques, because you really got to know what they look like on paper when they're dry. Because if you do it when it's wet and you panic thinking, oh my God, that doesn't look like it's supposed to, you just need to let it dry. Do it on the paper that you're working on. Please don't make a colour chart on crap quality paper. You have to have good quality paper. Either use a Bristol board smooth or use the Spectrum Noir marker paper. It's 240 GSM. It's really good quality. So don't skimp on the paper, because if you do, you are really going to run into some problems. Greeny brown. It's not greeny brown. It's not. It's, what did I even say it was? Gold brown. I have, it's just loads of art stuff. Yeah, mine's like that all the time. I am actually, okay, are you all sitting down? Are my regulars sitting down? Because I'm going to say something to you and you may pass out in shock. I can't even believe I'm saying this. But I keep walking into my office, trying to tidy up, trying to find places for things. I officially have too many art supplies because I haven't got the room for them. I know, I just said that. I don't know what's going on. OR2. LY. I have only got one LY, so I'm going to put that on now. LY1. My Illustrator markers, I'm going to, my old ones, donate to my kids. Right, that's the L one out of the way, as you're a bit of a loner. OR2, I've only got one of them. I know, right? Hey, Tracy, you all right? You've been missing the fun. Oh, you're right, Erica. I know. I said, I almost swore, didn't I, to say I have too much. I'd like to do them as a giveaway, but I've used them so much that they're not in any quality to give away, really. I'm going to do it again, aren't I? It's... Where is it? Here comes the Deedster. OR2, OR2. So OR is Nectarine. Oh, this is such a beautiful orange. Look at that colour. Look at that. What's the matter, Dee Dee? Dee Dee. She's meowing in the other room. BO. And I don't mean the smelly kind. That's all right. No such thing as too many. Okay, look. My craft box is basically my den, and I'm running out of room in my den. So, you know, what does that tell you? I need a bigger den. That's what it tells you. God, I've got such an itchy nose. BB is... Hang on, BB. Oh, no, you're not allowed to say. Oh, if anybody puts any spoilers out there, I'm going to be really upset. I'm going to go and watch it after this feed. We haven't got that many to go through on the Illustrator range. I wanted to do my classiques, but I'll probably bore the hell out of you by then. So I'll leave it up to you whether you want me to carry on. Right, GT1. GT. We're coming to my favourite colours now. I'd love this colour of hair if I could. Oh, so yummy. Look at that lushness. Trouble is, Erica, every time they bring out something new, it's always so lush and I always have to have it. Right, BT, that's TB, don't get tricked. BT, that's TB, let's put that up there. That's VB, that's VB. I thought I just did an AB. Maybe I did not. Right, well, here's the TB, so let's do that now. I've got BTs in my hand, I want TBs. So TBs. TB stands for... Bright orange, yes, it was. TB stands for... You sort of get the gist of it actually when you get the colours down. So if you're thinking turquoise blue, it's not. TB1. See, it's the reds I'm lacking. TB2. True blue, yay! Tuberculosis. That is true, yes. Oh, my kiddo this morning, or this afternoon I should say, came home to some wonderful post. She's getting very obsessed with herbal teas right now. Because I don't really allow juice because of the E numbers affect her condition. So we try and avoid any E numbers where possible. I'm not saying we are angels because we're not, but juice I find, or any drinks with E numbers in there, really affect her quite badly. So she loves getting peppermint from the garden and just putting it in water and drinking it. And I said, right, okay, well, why don't you try one of my peppermint teas? Because, of course, come winter, we're going to be limited with the amount of peppermint that's going to be growing, like none. And she really enjoyed it. And ever since then, she's been really getting into her herbal teas. So I know they're not expensive, but they're not cheap either, some of them. So I put a little call out to ask if anybody had any stuck in the back of their cupboard. And she got a lovely lot from my sister and her friend, and then she got 2 bits in the mail this morning, chock-up full of tea, so she's well happy. LV, I think LV's on the other side. See, I'm missing all my reds. All my reds, just, I don't have any. Night, Joanne. Oh, there she is. Finally makes an appearance. Talking about you earlier. LV. LV Amethyst. Not too badly. Amethyst. I am going to colour swatch what alcohol inks I have, so I might show you that, and then I'll do the classiques when I'm sat on the sofa, because it might be quite nice for you to see the alcohol inks. How can I be missing so many? It's not fair. Okay, this is Old China, me Old China. I'm going to zoom you in because it's a really nice colour. I'm missing one colour in the whole set, and it's a red and out of stock until November. Oh my god. I'm glad I can't afford to buy them all yet then, but it is reds that I need. BB3, Old China. Is that in the illustrators? It's the classics. I really want to get the whole shebang. Just love my classics. Look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous colour? And smoky blue. Okay, last 2 to do on this range, and I shall show you the alcohol inks, because the intensity in the colour, although it's close, is stronger because it's obviously straight out the pot. It's not going through a filter as such. So see, this is the, oh, I'm missing so many. A, B, where are you? AP. Oh dear, backache. Whinge, whine. It's going to be this side, isn't it? Why I didn't just do it alphabetical, I have no idea, because that really would have made my life easier. Oh dear, looks like I've got to get the refills on this one. Can you tell this was my most used colour? It actually was my most used colour, I think. I think I use this in nearly all of my drawings. Oh no, we're not quite done. I've got the BTs to do yet, AB3, and then we're done on that. Oh, this is a gorgeous colour. Yep, Illustrator Classics. I've got the 144 and dreading doing the order for all the. This is why I'm doing this, just to try and make it easy. I've got to order the other sets yet, but I'm pretty sure I was clever enough to write down when I swatched. I did. I actually wrote the names down, so at least I know what packs I've got, because it's probably the packs I'm going to go for first, and then I'll deal with the singles when I can. Maybe get a coffee man to do it for me, and then I don't have to. Okay, so right, we're going to do the BTs, and then I'm going to show you the alcohol inks. It's literally straight out the pot. In fact, I might go and grab if I can find it, a bit of art that I did using the alcohol inks, because you can actually do it on canvas. BT5. Oh, actually, I don't think I can. I think it's packed away in my box. No, I take that back. I can't. I could probably show you a picture, though. Yeah, I can show you a picture. That much I can. BT7. Keep triple checking just to make sure. Oh my god, look at that colour. I don't know what it is about blues and turquoise and just delicious cold colours. Love it. Again, another one for shadow, because it has that grey tone to it. I hope you guys do check out the skin tutorials, because they're worth having a go, because it just gives you that little extra element of realism. Even if you're just using stamps, it's still the same. Okay, let me move that microphone. Let me move that. Let me zoom out. Okay, I'm missing far too many. I'm very unhappy. Look at that. So many. It's so not funny. Hi, Emily. Thank you very much. They arrived today. Okay, so page 1. So the portrait set, because I did buy that, and then page 2. So that is how many I'm missing, and that is how many I will have to buy individually. Tracy, I'm not sure if you're able to find the original allocation details for the illustrators. So I can work out what I've got pack wise, and then maybe I can order the packs and then deal with the singles later on. Okay, so these are the classics, which I'm not going to sit and bore you with now. So I am going to bung this in quickly, just so I don't lose it. And then I'll show you the re-inkers. In fact, I'm not on because I'm going to get irritated. It's not the same. So I will put it on the same side as I did the last one. Thank you. You most definitely need to get it filled in a bit more. It won't be till next year. There's no way I'm going to be able to get the whole sets. As I say, I would rather actually concentrate on the classiques, but I don't have as many classiques to begin with as I have the illustrators, so it's going to cost me more in the classiques, so I'm going to have to go illustrators first. So, re-inkers. I'm not going to show you how to fill your pens up because I make enough of a mess as it is without having to go down that route. And for my sanity, I'm going to do it in the same order as I've already done it. And do you know what I love about their re-inkers? If you are into your alco art, and let me show you what I mean by that. Let's bring up no, yes, no, oh, I can't remember now. No, can't have. Okay, so if you're into your alco art, like so, how close can I get there? So this is using the Spectrum Noir re-inkers on canvas. It's really bright for some reason. So you can use them on their own. You don't have to use them as part of re-inking your product. You can use them on their own as well. Oh, camera's having a fit. There you go. Where's the other one? I'm pretty sure it wasn't that. Oh, maybe I never pix-arted it. Maybe I didn't. Oh, this was also done using nothing but Spectrum Noir. This is also on the channel. You can watch this come to life. I use the Spectrum Noir colour blends. I use their fine liners, which are my most favourite ever fine liners I have ever used. If you're into your illustration and you want a black pen that does not smudge or blend or bleed as soon as you put an alcohol marker on it, and it's also water resistant, you've got to try out the line pens, because they're art liners, because they are fantastic and they come in a range of colours. They don't just come in black. I use the aqua tints for the splatter, and then I used a load of the tri blends. So yeah, if you're into your art and you want to try, oh stop it, and you want to try something completely different, give it a go, because it's so versatile. You know, I've been on the design team for a few years now, and this has been a really exciting year because of the amount that they've managed to improve things and get things done. So is it, do you think they work the same as acrylic wood pour wood? No, acrylic is very different to alcohol inks. Alcohol inks are very quick to dry, and you have to manipulate them really quickly, and you have to use rubbing alcohol and everything in between the layers. It takes quite a lot in between, where the acrylic pouring is a fairly quick process apart from the drying time. So they react quite differently. Although I have considered adding the alcohol inks to the acrylic, but I'm assuming that the alcohol will separate the paint. And there's a stink bug working its way round my office. Hello, cutie. You might see him on the webcam in a minute. Okay, what else have I missed? I'm so undecided. Aquas or illustration markers? Yeah, Yupo is used a lot with alcohol ink because it's a smooth surface. So alcohol inks work best when they're on a smooth surface. We've done cups with them and things like that. And it's worked really well. This bug is so cute. He's going to literally climb his way. Let me see if I can turn. You probably can't see. Can you see? No, you can't. He's literally like, oh no, completely out. Mr. Bug. No. Move. No, I don't want to poke him. He'll end up being somewhere he shouldn't be. My face has gone really red again. I have to say, actually, a lot of the live feeds for my watercolours are best watched on my Facebook page. I did an awful lot of watercolour live feeds on the Facebook page. There's a load of videos on there, and you'll find tons on there. And there's also time-lapse videos on here, which you can watch as well. I have to say, out of every single product I've ever used, for me, because I think it makes me quite unique, is my ability to produce what I do with the aqua pens. It's one of my favourites. I'm laughing at the bug. It's one of my favourite mediums to use. The elephant, what did I use on the elephant? Do you know, I can't remember. That was Spectrum Noir, I'm sure it was. Can you see him now? There he is. You can barely see him. Anyway, he's a cute little bug. Working his way over. Oh, bless you, Emily. What do you prefer working with? Do you prefer the watercolour style or do you prefer the solid illustrator style? Well, I'm going to get on and swatch these. I might need a double layer under here, because it is so concentrated. Okay, so the first one is FL3. FL standing for fluorescent. So guess what I'm pulling out? Oh yeah, the blue light's coming out. So if I do it in order, then I can just write it down in order. So they come with these amazing long pipettes. Unlike a certain other brand, which I have nothing but issues with, when you try and get the ink out, you tip it and the little tiny thing at the end, like an oil, it just goes and it goes everywhere, which is really, really annoying. I think I've done a few now on YouTube. I'm literally just going to do bloop, bloop, 2. I'm going to do 2 dots of each colour and just let it do its thing. So FL3 is done. So I have done these already, but I want to put them in my book. This book is specifically for any swatching that I do from now on. So whenever I want to swatch something, this is where it's going to go. So I can just grab my one book. Because at the moment I've got swatching keys and I've got about 7 in various places, and it gets a bit frustrating having them everywhere. Let's see. Oh man. Okay, I need to do some lighting trickery here. Look at that. It's like the moon shining. Oh, look. Yeah. I've got to get the rest of the fluorescence. Well, why don't you just go for a basic set of watercolour pens, the watercolour pens, because you don't actually need loads of colours. All you need are your primary colours. that's the AG1. GT3, where are you, GT3? You'll see a bit of a theme as you see all my colours come onto the page. Actually, GT3. The fluorescent seems to spread a bit more, actually, looking at that. I'm hoping it's not going through my two. Oh, it's not. That paper's... Oh, blooming heck. That's not a circle, is it? Oh, you know what I'm going to have to do now, because I'm going to get really annoyed that it's not in this perfect little circle. You're going to have to... Oh, it won't spread because it's alcohol. Oh, well. I have an odd shape. I have an eyeball and a bike seat. That's really annoying. Okay, so next one is MG2. So MG2, which we know is a magenta. MG2. I love the length of the dropper you get on here. See, I want to show you, I want to see what that one comes out like, because we swatched it on different paper, whereas this is obviously much more similar to marker paper. I'm looking forward to just having one art pad absolutely chock-up full of samples. Like when you walk into a DIY shop. By the way, their black as well is one of the truest black markers you'll find. A lot of people say black, but they're really, really not that black. Get in there and stay in there. Okay, BT2, I think that was. I really should write these down because I'm going to lose where I am. I know I will. Okay, so FL3, which is fluorescent yellow. AG1. GT3. Oh, we're not far off the colour actually from the other paper. So I'm sure you're probably aware, but the way that the alcohol markers work is the alcohol is there to spread the colour, and then the alcohol sort of dissipates, and then you're left with the true colour, so the pigment colour. Now they are dye based, they are not pigment based like normal paint would be. So as with any dye based product, it is not as archival, so you have to bear that in mind. So you know, if you're going to be selling your work, bear that in mind. I tend to turn all my stuff into prints, so I sell the prints rather than, if I do sell the work, it's at a lot lower price and it comes with a warning on there. It has to be kept out of the sun and all that sort of stuff, so please bear that in mind. Right, I want to show you this true black. Yes, if it's on Yupo tiles, I haven't got any tiles with me, but yeah, if it's anything like that, it does, it pushes it away. Yeah, I'm wondering if I've got a bit of, in fact I know I have. Where though? I had a bit of acetate, but quite honestly, every time I turn around my den's a mess. So, okay, so this is the true black. In fact, I'm going to go get a tile so I can show you. Here's one I made earlier. And a tile. Okay, that's precariously balanced. So, I mean, that's it on a mug. It's had a thin coat of varnish and it's been baked on twice as well. Don't ever dishwasher them if you do anything like that. But I'm going to show you very quickly then on a tile how they react. I haven't got rubbing alcohol with me, so I can't show you all the tricks and things like that. But let's use, hang on. Let's just go with two, a blue and a purple, just so you can see, I suppose. So these will react in the same way as probably what you've seen. I need the rubbing alcohol really. I think they're just going to blend. I need it to dry. I need the rubbing alcohol. It's just, this is the equivalent of what a hairdryer would do, because normally you push it around with a heat gun or a hairdryer, and although I have my hairdryer attached, I don't want alcohol ink everywhere. But you can see how movable it is on a tile surface, whereas on the paper it wasn't movable at all. So the alcohol is now starting to dry in the thinner areas. So already in that blue area here, it's starting to dry off. So the alcohol, it looks like a tree. The alcohol is starting to just disappear now. But you would use a hairdryer. But yeah, they just work gorgeously. Okay, so if I did any art with markers, would I make them into prints, or is it just for the inks? If you did it with any alcohol marker, no alcohol marker is archival. You can never call them archival because they're just not. So I would make them all into prints. I mean, you're welcome to sell your work. You just have to warn them that it has to be kept out of sunlight, and you know, they're not going to keep as long as other pictures, which is why my watercolours are always less when I sell them than if I was to do a pencil drawing, because the pencil drawings would last a hell of a lot longer. So even the watercolour is dye based. So that's JG2, this is GT2. JG2, GT2, so BT6 next. They look like little eyeballs as they're drying, don't they? BT6, BT6, BT4. Can you tell the colour theme going on here? A little extra one. This is one of my favourite colours, the BT4. Blue turquoise Bora. Okay, so we're now up to PL3. And I can't believe I haven't got my PL4, which is my favourite. Night. The only thing to be careful is if you do use these on paper, the dropper can sometimes cause a little bit of splatter elsewhere. I don't even know what the time is. 10 o'clock. PL3. PL3. LV3. long? I haven't checked my phone yet. If you are watching and you have asked a question, I will check everywhere I shared the feed and come back to you. That's getting a bit close to where I wrote. No messages from Coffee Man. So there's nothing to worry about there. LV3 we've done. Push them all over to one side. Next one is CG1, which is yummy. One, two. So you can see where I've just left it to sit, where the alcohol's just sat. It's giving you this perfect little inner circle. CG1, which is citrus green one. MB3. So this is why it's worth swatching. See, I'm going to go and marry this up with my colour chart that I've just done, so I know exactly what the colour CG1 is, because as much as you're probably only going to reference it via number, I want to know what the equivalent is in the name. So I'm pretty sure MB3 is one of the muted browns. That's Mocha. In fact, I can write that now. I know what it is. So that's Mocha. So I want to go in and do each one. So LV3 we know is Amethyst. We know that that's Neon Yellow. AG1, I don't think I've got the name for that. Well, I have, but it's on the other bit of paper, so I'm going to have to wait for all these to dry, so I'll deal with that later anyway. Okay, LG4, so we've got 3 more to do after this. HB2. Yeah. Only because I'm being really weird and I don't want next one to just have 2 on it. HB2, which we know was Hydrangea Blue, I think it was. So each time I get a new colour, I will just come on and swatch this. So I'm going to probably leave about 5 pages for the inks. Not that I'm going to buy all the inks, but over the time, over the years, because I mean this ink formula is not going to change now because it's such a good ink formula. They've really got on top of it now and it won't be changing. So A, B, 1. Oh, AG1 is apple. Haha, I did think that. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Try and get my hand around here. Apple. Have we got GT3? I don't think I've got any GTs actually. Have I got any teal? Haha. See, because I've got the graphics, the illustrators and the classiques, at some point I'll have one colour somewhere. So MG2 is MG2, one I don't have. Shocking. MG2 is bubblegum, and you can understand why. Bubblegum. BP7. Oh, I thought that was burgundy, but it's not. Good job, you're good at sticky fingers. It's when you want to say a certain word and it comes out with ducking instead. What am I looking for? BP7. Cranberry. BT. Oh, I've got BT1. I haven't got BT2. BT I know is one of the colours I do have, so I know it's on the colour chart. BT2 is mint blue. So this also helps me identify the colours that I don't have, so at least I know what they're going to look like. PL2 is violet. I know that that's true black. JG2 is sea spray. Yeah, can you imagine having to come up with all of these names? GT2 is aqua marine. BT6 has really left a big bit of colour in there. Peacock blue. BT4 is surf blue. My hands are filthy because I've been playing with a well, I'm not allowed to say anything, but yeah, I've been playing with some bits today, so my hands are filthy. People. LV3 I've already written down. CG1, which I thought originally was the apple, but it's not. That's pale citrus. MB3 is mocha. LG4 is salad. Almost done. HB2 is hydrangea. CG2, again one I haven't got. I would have called that a lime green, but apparently this one's lime green. Oh, and I have a feeling, oh no, it must be one of the other ones. One of their other ones is AB1. AB1. Duck egg. My old kitchen colour. Okay, so the back looks like that. So that is how much difference and how concentrated that colour is, because we're going direct straight onto the paper with the alcohol, whereas when you look at the back of where we've done our colouring in, you can barely see the darker we go, the more you're going to see it through. Yeah, you can see that it's really, so you need to protect any work that you have underneath. What you don't see is that eye effect that you have got on this side. So it's quite clean on that side. In fact, it's lighter, isn't it? So yeah, just protect your work if you're going to do it. But saying that, nothing's come off on this, so that's not too bad. Right, I'm going to go and do the classiques on my sofa. As I say, if you have any questions that you think of later on, come find me, comment below. If you're watching this later on, pop a question down below. I will come and answer it for you. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you found it useful, hit that thumbs up. And whatever it may be, morning, afternoon, evening, have a good one, and I shall see you guys on the next live. Bye.